Hi, my name is Kelly, and I'm part of the task team. I'm going to be teaching long division 2, so that's with remainders. Last time I taught just long division, so this is the second part, and then the next part's going to be decimals. So let's review long division. What are the three parts to the division equation? It's the dividend, divisor, and the quotient, right? So what do each of them mean? A dividend is the number being divided, so the total. A divisor is how many parts it is being divided to, so how many parts the dividend is being split up into. And the quotient is the answer, so how many in each divided part, how many in each divisor, basically. So how should it look like when you solve it? A divisor should be on the outside, a dividend should be on the inside, and the quotient should be here. So let's do an example problem, just to review long division. Marissa has 1,707 buttons. She wants to give 3 of her cousins the same amount. How many buttons should she give to each cousin? So 1,707 is the dividend, right? Because it's a total that she has. And 3 is the divisor because it's how many parts it's going to be split into. It's how many parts the dividend is going to be split into. So what is the equation? 1,707 divided by 3, right? This is the dividend, divisor, and this is the quotient. So let's set this up. Okay, so 3 goes into 17 how many times? 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract this, it's 2, but then you bring down the 0, so it's 20. 3 goes into 20 6 times. 3 times 6 is 18. It's 2, but then you bring this down, so it's 7. 27. 3 goes into 27 how many times? 9. So 3 times 9 is 27, and that equals 0, which means this is your final answer. So whenever you get 0 for the last number, that means this is your final answer, because you can't simplify it more. Okay, so now going into remainders. What is a remainder? A remainder has the word remain in it, so that's just a way to remember what it means. It's remain, and remain means to stay, right? So therefore, a remainder is a number that remains or is left over to the division problem. Some division problems have leftover numbers that cannot be solved with whole numbers and instead decimals or fractions, and that's the next lesson. So next lesson we're going to learn how to actually solve it with decimals, which is the most accurate that it gets, but for now we're going to keep it as a remainder just to grab the concept of it. So some division problems don't end in 0, and there's basically nothing you could do about it except to convert it into a decimal or a remainder. So that's what we're learning. So what happens when there are leftover numbers that cannot be factored more into whole numbers? They turn into remainders or decimals, but for now remainders. Okay, so let's try this on this example question. So if the divisor is 9 and the dividend is 6,107, so just solve it like normal. The first part's just normal long division. So 9 goes into 61 6 times, because 9 times 6 is 54. You subtract this, it's 7, but then you bring down the 0. 9 goes into 77 times. 9 times 7 is 63. Subtract that, it's 7, but then you bring down this 7, so it's 77. 9 goes into 77 8 times. 9 times 8 is 72, and you subtract that. Now, this is where it goes to remainders. So 9 can't go into 5, right? And it's not a 0, which means it's not your final answer. So that means this is your remainder, because this is your leftover number that you can't do anything about, right? So 9 can't go into 5, so 5 is your remainder. It's a leftover number that's just there. So that's your answer. Okay? In the problems that the divisor can't go into the number that was subtracted, the last number becomes the remainder. So it's written as R and then whatever number it was. So this answer would be 678 remainder 5, or R5. Okay, so now try this question on your own. Stuart has $2,336. He donates all of the money to 7 different charities equally. How much money did each charity get? So try this question on your own. Pause the video and then see what you get. Okay, so the divisor 7, because it's 7 different charities equally. 2,336 is the dividend because it's the total amount that he has. So again, just do it like regular long division. 7 goes into 23 3 times. 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract that, it's 2, but then you bring down the 3, so it's 23. 7 goes into 23 3 times. 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract that, it's 2, but then you bring down the 6, so it's 26. 7 goes into 26 3 times. 7 times 3 is 21, and you get 5. Now, if you notice, 7 can't go into 5 anymore, so this is your leftover number, which means it's your remainder. So that's your final answer. So each charity got $333, remainder 5. Okay? Later you could do it with decimals, so it's going to be more accurate, but this is just to get the concept of it. Okay, so this is the end of the lesson, so feel free to try the worksheets that are linked down below, and there's also an answer key to check if you got it right. And also there's going to be a video for long division with decimals, so stay tuned for that video, and yeah, have a great day, and I hope this helped.